What's happening with the world? It's your mans and them, the Toothless Wonder, reporting on the Bamboozled Again News Network, where Negroes get bamboozled every day, B. uh, I just caught a Tariq Nasheed interview, a little short clip on the, I believe, Hardly Initiated podcast. I like listening to black intellectualism, you know what I'm saying? But I guess the host was asking, Tariq Nasheed, what do we have to do to like get on code, quote unquote? And he goes through, the litany of, the systems working against the black family mainly, which is probably the main root cause of most, I'd say 90-95% of dysfunction within, the quote unquote black community, right? So he was asking the question, can we get on code? Now, of course, I like to hear it and just come with my 2 cents. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. And by no means is this, pessimism or nothing like that. It's actually looking just sheerly at the reality of the situation. Can black people get on code? Short answer, no. We don't want to get on code. Because you know what that does? In order for us to quote unquote get on code, that means we would have to change the way we go about things. How we see things, how we do things, a plethora of other things we would have to change. We don't have the internal resolve as a grouping of people to do that. So no, we can't get on code. No, the individualized Negro here who, pursuit of money, fame, or, just personal pleasure and personal pursuits ain't finna sacrifice nothing for the greater good or others. Not unless they can post it on social media or, receive credit for doing such. This Negro we're witnessing here, the Babylonian Negro, too far gone. Now, granted, people can get in code maybe in their community, maybe among a small pocket of friends, but the larger it get, the more it'll get co-opted, the more of a percentage or propensity for it to be co-opted, or for jealousy to creep in, or somebody feeling like they're not getting enough, or they're doing too much work, or whatever the case may be. No, again, to me, these arguments are, yeah, we got the solution, but we're not, there's no way for us to implement it. There's no way, unless the Babylonian system falls, which it will at some point, there's no way to defeat the decades of programming, of music, of what's promoted through corporate initiatives and so on and so forth, that have a vested interest and a financial incentive to keep the black family where it's at, if not worse. We seen that with, the voting of Kamala. Really, they weren't voting for her. They were voting for essentially whoredom, in the vessel of Kamala. You know what I'm saying? No, we can't get on code. That's why I'm fooling Negroes. Because we talk a good game, but ain't nobody finna do nothing. Especially if it requires any personal responsibility on your part. See, you notice in the black community, we play a lot of victimhood. And granted, things have gone against us, no diggity, no doubt. But we enjoy playing victim. Because in playing victim, you take away the responsibility of your own personal action. Like, yeah, okay, I can say, police brutality, yeah. But if Negroes start fighting back, how much is that going to go on? You see what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest, the average Negro is afraid to die. Nor can he afford to. So it's not like, brothers going, be like them colonial folk, you know what I'm saying? Give me liberty. Ain't nobody finna do that. They might hop on, a podcast or something and say, but they not gonna live that no real life. You know what I'm saying? He's scared to live, scared to die. Really scared of everything. He's scared of every woman. He's scared of other people look just like him. He's scared of the government, scared of the police, he's scared of the court system. Negro live in fear. Negro man anyway. You know what I'm saying? That, to a degree, I understand where a lot of that pandering come from. You just scared. You just want to have an easy go of it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no easy go. Because if you have an easy go, you're going to have to sell out to do that. You know what I'm saying? And then, you just stand to, what you believe in, just within your person. You set up for warfare. along spiritual lines. So pick your poison. Either way, you gonna see. I knew this like previously, or I came to this epiphany rather. I told my counselor this. Either which way, I'm gonna endure some pain. It's just which pain I choose to take on. You know what I'm saying? Actually, that's all it is. But black people mass are not getting on code, and we're too far gone. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said in the previous video, like if you would put all black people in Texas and we would have to govern ourselves, we have no track record of working together. Even in and I think we're so Babylonian out at this point. Living, let's say, a scriptural way, one man, one wife, we, fair scales and so on and so forth. But due to, hood culture proliferating all aspects of Negro society, the average Negro will feel uncomfortable not getting over on the next Negro. The average woman would feel uncomfortable being faithful to one man who's decent. You know what I'm saying? The average whoremonger male is going to feel uncomfortable engaging in women and not having any kind of sexual motive. We're too far gone. So, like I said, yeah, maybe in your personal life or among your small group of friends or something like that. But in mass, like all black people waking, no, it's not going to happen. We bought into the system too long. That's why we're fighting to uphold a falling system. Again, I believe one of the aspects of, they say 78% of black males voted for Kamala. They're voting for, government subsidies and, government take care of you. And they're voting to, to be a good slave for all intents and purposes. And I know in my personal life, and I wasn't able to get the ball rolling as far as sobriety until I put all the responsibility on me without any, safety net of who I'm going to blame if it don't go right. You know what I'm saying? I got to eat all that. But it has created a vast implementation of character that I hadn't previously had. Yeah, maybe in lip service, maybe in some other aspects, but just taking life on life terms and dealing with it without getting high or getting drunk or trying to do something slick to make some money. You know what I'm saying? Nah, we ain't gonna do that. And then not only that, this culture and society has created too much superficiality. That's too much, getting on code has too much substance for the average Negro to ingest. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like diarrhea. It would just go straight through them. You know what I mean? They need something. They need more McDonald's type stuff. That's what their diet. That's what they're used to. So like, let's say you eat a whole bunch of processed, and then you eat like leafy greens and spinach and like real food. It's gonna run through you because your system not used to handling it, even though it's more beneficial to you. But we don't want to be healthy because the people on TV don't tell us to be healthy. They tell us to be carnal. They tell us to be, money motivated at all costs. They tell us to be, pleasure driven, just like in Rome. They say that was one of the contributing factors as to why Rome fell, because the society had moved so pleasure based, among other things. Because when you delve in pleasure is like a drug. You'll have it at all costs. Anytime, in the pursuit of pleasure, let's say you potentially put, your marriage on the line for some pleasure, that just go to show you, you know what I'm saying? Or, whoever, sister, willing to deal with whatever dude, even though, the dude she got, he check all the boxes. It's for sheer pleasure, carnality. This is almost like a beast system that's turning people into beasts, for lack of a better term. No critical thought, you know what I mean? Just moved by impulses and desires. You know what I'm saying? Getting on code would require discipline and conviction stuff, again, that we talk about, but internally it's not inside the average Negro. Not at least the ones I've been privy to, regardless of what position they hold in society. I know people, own businesses and have degrees and all that, but they're still morally inept and spiritually corrupted. Let me tell it. From the church house, these various nonprofits and all that. They, like, especially now with these nonprofits, they might, and these 501c3s, they might, clean up the neighborhood or something like that. But again, yeah, you're supposed to clean your neighborhood up anyway. But how much have they really affected any real, true, systematic change? Zero. They're all just, aligned with the government and able to do whatever they allow them to do. You know what I'm saying? Because if they don't, they'll get their 501c3 snatched and then they have to pay taxes. Lord forbid that. I thought we were supposed to render unto Caesar what's his. But, maybe I slightly digress here. I basically, me, myself, personally, I've come to the conclusion, the vast majority of black folk I know, I done wrote them off. Not because I'm superior or I'm intellectually woo-woo-woo. I'm looking at this from a spiritual and a behavioral standpoint. Like, even with me, repeatedly messing up, I still had do right in me. I just had this one particular thing that kept dropping me back. You know what I'm saying? I was an alcoholic, you know what I'm saying? Smoked a whole lot of reefer and whatnot. And I've actually dealt with other drugs in the past, you know what I'm saying? But I still did right. I still stood up for what was right. I just drink, which negated, the do right I was doing. You know what I'm saying? I was still drinking and, forgiving folk and asking them to forgive me. You know what I'm saying? That was just my personal crutch. And once I alleviated that, then I got to fully operating along the path. I don't see it. Like I said, I got a homeboy. He's 52 years old, been working at the same job 20 years. But now he's behaviorally going backwards. But again, like I said in previous videos, me and him had these type of conversations and kick it back and forth. But then after the conversation over, it's right back to the same thing. It's right back to accepting your lot in life. I'm not accepting nothing. I'm happy. Well, I done got better with it. But I'm always brainstorming and thinking, how can I improve my life holistically? Financially, spiritually, mentally. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. That's the mood I'm on. Understanding that everybody ain't going to be on that type of time. Now, we'll talk about it as a halftime message and feel good. But as soon as we done talking, do you see any of this in actuality and behavior? No. That's no different than the fake pastor man. He talk all that Gucci dance stuff, but he still Miss Edna money for 30 years. Then when Miss Edna needs some help, he sent her down social service. And that's the pastor man. That's why I be following none of these folk, man. I try to follow. I got a nice roster on YouTube of brothers who've been insightful, and some sisters too, who've been very insightful, help me, understand things or improve in areas or give me other points to think about, you know what I'm saying? Outside of that, I don't trust none of these folk, man. Because we all here it is. And I'm noticing, that's why it's hard for black people to do business together, because we're so taught, or we get off on our ego of if I got over on you. You know what I'm saying? Like in the streets or whatever, I sold him, I got him, you know what I'm saying? But then as soon as somebody get you, now you mad. We can't. I just feel like sometimes I'm just this color, but I'm nothing like, even when I was younger, and before I started having, just dealing with life or whatever the case, I always felt different. It always mystified me how I saw people move or play fake or, you know what I'm saying? That's always been the case. But to answer the question, to reiterate it again, no. So ain't no sense of hoping for it. Now here's what'll happen. Let's say, SHTS situation, right? Now we're kind of forced to do it. But being forced to do something and doing something by choice is different. Just like, with the Most High, he would like for us to uphold, his law, statute, and commandment, but he don't force you to do nothing. But then let's say, hypothetically, you're in a situation where the system falls and now you're forced to do it. You still have no practice or no track record of operating a certain way. So you're going to naturally go back to your default mechanism. That's where you start saying, you think people backdooring each other and for, views and all that now. Imagine being around some people, a grouping of Negroes who have no track record of operating honorably. Let's just put it like that. And now are forced to do so. It ain't going to last long because it's not in them. That's why. They can speak it out their mouth, but it's not in them. Because again, I believe the system has done this where we now, it's fully that program has fully integrated into our system, where the competitive jealousies and just not wanting to see the other person win, but telling them that program has fully taken on. It's 100% uploaded. So unless the system crash and you get a whole new reboot and then get a new program uploaded, you're going to run off the same program you've been operating in for the last 30 years. Unless by conscience or circumstance of the Most High that He will awaken you, you're gonna do what you've always done, because that's all you know to do. You know what I'm saying? And black people get on code. I mean, it's good for content and conversational purposes. But again, there's like a lot of that, these dating kind of talking points, 50-50 or 100%. It sounds good, but it ain't none of that gonna happen. Because no matter if you go 50-50 or 100%, if the person you dealing with ain't right, whether you go 100% or 50-50, ain't neither one of them gonna work. You see what I'm saying? We're looking at as a whole, and I get it, for demographic purposes. What about the individual? Why don't we hold the individual accountable? You see what I'm saying? Oh, the system, yeah, it is all that, but what you gonna do about it? I don't know. That's actually a good thing. I never know what I'm gonna do. But it starts the process of me start trying to figure out what I'm gonna do and starting with some prayer. You know what I'm saying? That's the world and the land we live in, where actually, white supremacy, this, that, and the third, yeah, no diggity, no doubt again. But your own kind are most dangerous to you because you're dealing with them more so than anybody else. Yeah, here and there, police stuff or, the hospital stuff, big farm and all that. But most of your vexing pain typically come from those you're around, and typically if they're around, they look just like you. You know what I'm saying? It's almost, if you're in these various, like, let's say, low-income environments, it's actually what I want to word it, I guess a liability, or you're putting yourself at a disadvantage attempting to operate honorably. Just like in a prison system. The most dangerous person is the person with the least amount of morals, or the person with the most amount of knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying? Either or. That's what it is. Everybody else basically fodder for the system at this point. And I see it as such. Maybe that's why I don't see people who are living as alive. So I don't really feel the need to engage them like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a very sobering reality for myself to come to. However, I got to deal with reality. And this is what it is. According to me, anyway. And this is, Foul Shot and reporting on the Bamboozle Again News Network. Always ever reminding y'all to cover y'all six. Ooh-ah!